Hey everyone! Welcome back to Story Hive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let's jump into today's story. My wife blew up at me and accused me of cheating, saying she had proof she refuses to show me. Now I need to show her that actions have consequences by divorcing her. I 44 have been married to my wife Grace 42 for 13 years and together for 16. Quick backstory. I met Grace around the time I got out of the military. It was a medical discharge, and I met her while I was at the hospital for surgery. She was a nurse on the floor where I was staying. Grace was a single mom, divorced for a couple of years. I left the military, went back to school, and now work from home as a software engineer. We started dating and took it slow for the first couple of years because of her daughter Maya, who was 5 at the time. Grace is still a nurse, and Maya is now in college. Until last month, I would have said that our marriage was pretty solid. We've had arguments, and I admit I was kind of terrible at housekeeping when we first moved in together because I wasn't used to how much kids can tear things up around the house. But other than that, it was good. There were no step-parent issues. I had an active role in Maya's life because her father lives overseas for work. We went on dates, and intimacy has always been great. We wanted kids, but it wasn't in the cards for us. Honestly, I'm a bit blindsided. I've had friends who were blindsided by divorce, but I never understood how. Usually, there were problems they glossed over, and then suddenly their wives would leave them, and they just didn't see it coming. But the rest of us could see it coming from a mile away. So here I am saying the same thing, and maybe I just missed something huge. The past few months, Grace has been more stressed than usual. Ever since COVID, she's been burnt out, and I asked her multiple times if she wanted to quit her job, at least for a couple of years. I thought the burnout was coming to a head. She was withdrawn and angry, snapping at me constantly and ridiculing Maya over everything. But she's my wife, and she was traumatized by the pandemic. So both Maya and I were understanding. We would do okay with just my salary. So last month, I sat her down to suggest again that she quit and take some time off to heal. Then everything blew up. She started yelling at me, saying she knew what I was doing and that she'd known for months. She claimed to have proof. I didn't know what she was talking about at first, but it didn't take long to realize she was accusing me of infidelity. I can't lie, I was angry as hell. I opened my phone, handed it to her, and told her to go through it. I then got my laptop, unlocked it, and told her to go through that as well. The whole time she kept shouting at me about some other woman. I don't have traditional social media accounts. I'm on Lobster's Hacker News and I have a Reddit account. I told her to check everything. There's no secret Facebook, Instagram, no messages from anyone. I even opened Discord and Slack, everything I could think of. But she wouldn't even look at it. She just got angrier and angrier, and then she picked up my laptop and threw it. That's when I had enough and left. I went to my parents' house, all the while Grace was texting, calling, and leaving increasingly unhinged messages about this woman she was convinced I was with. When I got to my parents' house, I called her once and told her I needed a few days because I was too angry to talk. The next morning, my sister called and told me that Grace had also called her multiple times to check if I was really there. After a few days, I called Grace to talk. She apologized for throwing the laptop, but said I made her so angry because I was being so calm. I told her I wasn't calm, I was furious because I was being accused of cheating on my wife. But I felt it was better to try to talk it out than to start shouting, which I didn't think was a good idea. Then she got angry, accused me of twisting her words, and things quickly fell apart. She started going on and on again, insisting that she knew I was cheating and that she had proof. I asked her what proof she had because I wanted to see it. I don't remember how we got to this point, but she said she was going to send everything to the lawyer. I responded by saying, "Fine, send a copy to mine, because this is going nowhere." She got really quiet after that and asked if I was serious. I told her I wasn't going to stay in a marriage where my wife thinks I cheated on her but won't tell me why. We ended the call there, and I've been at my parents' house since. My dad is on my side. My mom thinks Grace is just having a rough time and believes we can talk this through. My sister is upset that she got dragged into it, so she thinks we're both at fault. Maya is miserable because she's being torn between me and her mom. I feel like maybe I jumped the fence and should have stayed calmer. Edit. My morning meetings are finally over, and I need to concentrate on my job, so I'm logging out for the day. I'm going to talk to my mom to see if she'll reach out to Grace and suggest therapy, couples therapy, etc. I believe those of you who suggested missing reasons are correct. Something is causing this. I just don't know if it's something I've done. Stress in her life. I don't think it is, but you never know. I'll reassure Maya again that she has a place here no matter what. As far as I'm concerned, she's my daughter, and of course she has a place here if she needs it. However, I also won't try to pressure her, considering that's her mom, and I know this situation is pulling her in two directions. Edit 2. Okay, so I took a quick break and thought I'd come back to read a couple of comments, but there are way too many to go through. However, there seems to be an overall theme, so I'll try to address it quickly here. Someone asked if I was cheating. I understand why you'd ask that. I never explicitly said it in the post, but let me assure you, no, I'm not cheating. I never have. Granted, those are just words, and I'm sure some might think I'm lying, but I love my wife. I never wanted to cheat. I'm not a saint. I've been attracted to people, but the thought of cheating has never crossed my mind. A lot of people think she's cheating on me. Again, I don't think so. She's home every night at the same time, and she doesn't hide her devices. Could there be someone at work? Yes. Do I think she's cheating? No, but as many have pointed out, those can be famous last words. Talking about divorce and staying calm, I have PTSD, and over the years I've worked a lot in therapy to process intense emotions. It's why I stay calm, not because I actually feel calm, but because if I don't, I get overwhelmed. The talk to my lawyer comment was one of those moments where I didn't process well. I don't think it's a good idea to divorce her after over a decade together because of what's happened in the past month. On the other hand, I know that because it's not a safe place for me mentally right now, I'll stay at my parents' house until we get this resolved. Could it be hormones? Yes, it could be. However, my wife is already taking hormones due to a medical procedure she had in her early 30s. As I mentioned, it wasn't in the cards for us to have kids. She usually sees the doctor every 6 months to check her levels, and her last appointment was in March. However, her mood changes started before that. Mental health issues. This is what I think it is personally. As I mentioned, Grace has been building up to burnout for a while now. These mood changes started some time ago, which is why I initially suggested she take time off work and brought it up again last month when she blew up at me. I believe this is stress related, and that's why I haven't actually contacted a lawyer. I hope my marriage can be saved. I think I just wanted reassurance from a neutral third party because I'm so far out of my depth here. To those who say not to get my mom involved, my mom already is. She and Grace are incredibly close, and she's been calling Grace every day to check on her. Grace has no contact with her own family, so I'm not really involving my mom as much as just asking her to suggest marriage counseling the next time she calls. I certainly don't want to involve any other parties in this, so I'm not going to contact a friend to talk to my wife. I haven't been completely out of contact with my wife since I left. I probably should have clarified that. She messages me, and sometimes it's the same silly stuff we've always talked about. It feels like nothing has changed except that her anger and accusations are a new thing. Will I try to get a marriage counselor or therapist involved? I'm already thinking about it. It's in the cards, and I'm trying to find someone who has experience with situations like this. I just want to make sure we both have a safe space to talk about things and get our feelings out in a way that's productive. Thanks for the support, everyone. I'm really trying to figure this out and get through it the best way possible. Update: life had been relatively stable for Sam and Grace until that fateful month. They'd been together for 16 years, married for 13, and everything had seemed, if not perfect, at least solid. Grace, a nurse, had been dealing with burnout since the pandemic. Sam, a software engineer working from home, he thought the stress from work was overwhelming her, and he wanted to help. One day, Sam approached Grace with the suggestion again, only to be met with an explosion of anger. Grace accused him of cheating, insisting she had proof but refusing to show it. Sam was stunned. He handed over his phone, his laptop, everything he could think of to prove his innocence. Grace's anger only intensified as she refused to look at any of it. Instead, she threw the laptop and continued to accuse him of infidelity. Feeling both hurt and furious, Sam left for his parents' house to cool down. Grace's anger didn't subside. She bombarded him with messages and calls, convinced he was with another woman. Sam decided he needed time away from the chaos, taking refuge at his parents' home while Grace's frustration spiraled out of control. His father was supportive, his mother hopeful they could work things out, and his sister, dragged into the mess, felt conflicted. Maya, Grace's daughter from a previous marriage, was caught in the middle, feeling torn between her mom and the man she'd come to think of as a father. Sam decided to try and address the issue calmly. He reached out to Grace, attempting to have a productive conversation, but the situation quickly deteriorated. Grace's accusations remained unsubstantiated, and Sam suggested she send any supposed proof to his lawyer. This only quieted Grace momentarily. Sam believed that Grace's stress might be a significant factor, but he was unsure if it was enough to explain her behavior. As Sam sought advice from online communities, several themes emerged. People questioned whether he might be cheating, but he assured them he wasn't. Others speculated that Grace might be unfaithful, a notion Sam dismissed despite acknowledging the possibility. He felt that Grace's behavior was more likely related to her overwhelming stress rather than any actual infidelity. Sam contemplated therapy, both individual and couples counseling, to navigate this turbulent period. His mother, already involved, was expected to suggest counseling to Grace during their conversations. Sam also reassured Maya that she was welcome at his parents' home if needed, emphasizing his commitment to her well-being. As the days passed, Sam remained at his parents' house, reflecting on his next steps. He hoped that with some time and possibly professional help, they could address the underlying issues and find a way to move forward. Thanks for tuning in to today's Reddit story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories. See you next time.